Don't exalt yourself. Even if you're a leader, don't exalt yourself.
Even if you're a leader.
Even if you're a leader. And because when you do, he will humble you. And sometimes in a way that you will not be happy with.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Lifestyle Thursday, but today we're going to do a leadership segment on Lifestyle Thursday. I'm sure you've been enjoying the series that we did with Becky. I mean, I was so moved. At the end of every one of those recordings, I was so moved and I had so many questions in my head, like, could I be able to go through this? But then again, I told you from you, Becky, I learned that if other people have gone through something, I can go through it. And it helped you with those 4 months. But I'm so grateful for the vindication of the 4 months. But I want us to talk about leadership. What did you learn? What are the lessons that you learned through that 4-month experience?
I think the first lesson I learned was people are people. God created us equal as people. And we should respect people.
Yeah.
Because we are just like them and they are just like us. So one thing I learned was respect. The second thing I learned was humility. Be humble. And when you're humble, God will exalt you himself. Don't exalt yourself. Even if you're a leader, don't exalt yourself.
Even if you're a leader.
Even if you're a leader. And because when you do, he will humble you. And sometimes in a way that you will not be happy with, but he will humble you. So don't exalt yourself. Be humble and let the Lord exalt you. And treat people with humility, because people are just people.
Yeah.
They need to be respected, they need to be loved, and they need to be acknowledged. Don't load yourself over others, because you're not different. And I realized that when I got to prison, I am not different from the next lady.
Wow.
We're the same. She may have come from the countryside. She may have murdered her husband. She may have been there because she was hawking or she was a prostitute. But there, we were the same.
You were all equal.
We were all equal. We were all known by our numbers. It didn't matter whether I had been a permanent secretary. I didn't go in there with my position, and I definitely left without it.
Okay. And going in there as a permanent secretary, maybe the only are you the only permanent secretary who has ever been jailed? Has anybody else been? What's the lesson in that?
I think I'm the only female permanent secretary that has been jailed. What is the lesson for myself? God treats each one of us in his own way.
So our lessons are unique to us.
Our lessons are unique to us. I wouldn't say, and I didn't say it's not fair. How come so and so was not jailed and I was?
Were your co-accused jailed?
My co-accused were jailed as well.
Wow.
Yes.
For how long?
For the same period of time.
Really?
At the end of our sentence, after we went through the appeal, one of our co-accused was acquitted of all charges. 2 of us were acquitted of all charges, except I was charged with 1, and I was fined 500,000. So at the end of it, we served our term. We were punished for what we were said to have done, and we have come out now. I mean, the only thing that makes me very sad, Pastor Angie, is even after you serve your term,
people still want to
punish you. People still want to punish you.
That's something.
People still want to punish you. And honestly, I would appeal especially to those in positions to treat former incarcerated people with dignity, because they have served their term.
Yeah, they have. And they've suffered for that time.
And they have suffered. Give them the opportunity to come back and take their positions as citizens of this country society, and be able to contribute to the economy.
Because getting I think getting an ID is hard. Getting a certificate of good conduct is next to impossible, which means you can't get a passport. I mean, the opportunities they are denied are too much, and they have paid their price to society.
You've paid your price. Some people have served sentences when they were innocent, but they finish and they come out, and they still carry the brand of criminal on their heads, an invisible a label on their heads. And it's difficult, Pastor, to get out of there and be free. You're stigmatized. Yeah. So, but I came out as a different person. I do not say I'm a leader now, but I have taken, together with my organization, a stand where we're working together with women who are in prison.
But that's leadership.
Yes. Yes, some sort of leadership.
No, you are a leader, Becky.
Thank you, Pastor.
You are a leader because you had an experience, and now you're trying to make that experience better for other people.
Yes.
So you're trying to improve their lives. You're going there to change things. You do coaching. You show them. You give them skills.
Yes.
You pray with them. You encourage them. I mean, on the prison visits I've been with you and the team, whenever any of you say that you used to wear this uniform, everybody wakes up.
Yes.
Like, you were here and now you're there. Okay, let me listen. So it's a form of encouragement.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's what leadership should be.
Yes.
Yes.
To encourage other people.
You have a position where you can pull others up. Because you're already up.
Yep.
So pull others up to join you. Don't step on people and leave them down.
But also there's something else that I think we do it's our culture. I don't know why, but we hide. There's no authenticity in the experiences that we've been through. So somebody else could have gone through what you've gone through and either maybe disappeared, they relocate to another country or something, or just never be seen, never share. So I always think that you have to applaud yourself, and that's leadership. Leadership is being authentic about my experience.
Yes.
First of all, showing other people you don't want to go through this experience no matter what. Guard yourself, be deliberate, be strategic, whatever you need to do. Or also put yourself in the mindset that you could go through this. This could be a possibility. But you have to live through it. You can't die. You have to get through it and come out on the other side a better person.
Yeah. But you can only do that, Pastor, if the shame and the pain are taken away.
Really?
Yes.
How was your shame and pain taken away?
By God.
He took it away.
He took it away.
Okay.
It wasn't sudden.
He says in Isaiah that he says that I will take away your shame.
Yes.
It wasn't sudden, you were going to say.
It wasn't sudden. It was gradual. It was gradual.
But he took it away.
But he took it away. It was a process. But he took it away.
Could you see shame in other people? You know, sometimes I think like the people around you. Could you see shame in them, in their eyes? You know, sometimes people feel like they just want to look down because they don't even want to look at you. Or even maybe when you meet your old friends who departed.
Oh yeah, I would meet friends and they would see me coming and they would cross the road. I would see them in supermarkets, and when they see me, they look down and pass me. You know, I would experience all sorts of interesting experiences with people who knew me. There were times I too felt shame. I felt ashamed. I would see people, there were times I would see people and they would look at me and I would cross the road. You know, those are natural instincts. Those are natural instincts. They're natural reactions. So it takes God to put a supernatural something in you for you to behave otherwise. I no longer carry that shame. I meet people, even people who I knew meant ill for me, towards me, people who laughed at me, people who mocked me, because they're there. And they're human beings, and we do that. Those are natural human reactions. I meet people who mocked me and called me all sorts of names. And when I meet them now, I just reach out and say hello. Yeah. And they get surprised and they ask me, why? I mean, how? I mean, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. You know, it's okay. You can say hello to me. You know, I've finished. I'm no longer a prisoner. I'm not tainted. I'm not dirty. I'm not going to pass anything on to you. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
The people who left you, what's the lesson in that?
The people who left me, that was God ridding me, getting rid of all those who did not need to be around me.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Because sometimes we attract, a lot of times we attract,
and especially because of position.
Especially because of position.
We attract a lot of things.
We attract a lot of things, we attract a lot of people, and we carry things with us and people with us that shouldn't be with us. And we are sometimes overwhelmed, and our attention moves from where we should be focusing, who is God, to this other direction, to people who are glorifying you, to people who are praising you, to people who make you feel as important as you want to feel. You know, people have a way of making you believe falsely in yourself.
That's true.
And God, oftentimes, when you lose focus and He wants you to bring you back
to focus.
He'll
do something.
He will do something. And sometimes that turn is not very comfortable. And that's what He did. He made sure that I turned back to where I should be. And He made sure He got rid of everything, every excess baggage that I was carrying that was distracting me. Wow. So I now walk very light. I have very few friends.
Good.
And I'm happy that Pastor Angie is one of my friends.
I'm so happy I'm your
and a mentor. And a mentor. And a sister who loves me genuinely for who I am, despite where I have come from and what I have been through. My closest friends are women who have been through the experience I've been through. Women who are incarcerated. Women, and some of my friends are women who didn't leave me even when I went to prison. They would come and see me. They would bring me toiletries. They would bring me the extra money to buy myself maybe a piece of bread or a fruit in prison, which was not included in the main diet.
Because I saw this welfare book that you can deposit money into people's accounts and they get to eat.
Yes. I have some friends from my past who are still with me, and I love them so much.
Amen.
But the wonderful thing is God brought me new friends who are genuine, who don't judge me, who don't care that I was in prison, who don't care that I don't have the wealth that I used to have, who don't care that I don't drive the cars that others drive, who don't mind that I get into a matatu. So I have genuine friends now who are God-fearing, God-loving sisters. And I love them and I thank God for bringing them into my life.
Amen.
Yeah.
I think for me, as we end this, the leadership lesson, when I went, I said I won't get overwhelmed. I'm the one who's supposed to be strong for the women. But I think when I looked around, I think the leadership lesson for me was that anybody can come to prison.
Yes.
I was shocked by the people. I mean, I found all sorts of people. I don't know why I was shocked. I saw old women. I was like, why is Shushu here? I saw people, foreigners. That one took me aback a bit. I was like, oh my goodness. I think it must be so hard to be incarcerated in a foreign country. I saw the young are the ones who broke me down. When I saw how young, beautiful young girls, freedom had been curtailed, and some of them told me they were there for life, and they were 25, I was like, no. I saw women who, their first thing was like, please, can you reach out to my child? There's one lady who told me that her child had passed exams, but there was nobody to take her to school because her mother is too old. That's something I saw. I saw that, I think when we imprison women, we've got to think it through.
Yes.
Because we mess up our whole ecosystem. We mess up their children. Because now children are just left all of a sudden. Mom left in the morning, especially like the whole King prostitution, and didn't come back. And that's the end of that story. And you're like, what? I mean, can you imagine what kind of disarray it throws the children into the family?
Totally.
I must say one thing that encouraged me, I don't know much more about it, but I've listened and heard stories about cross-stitch and about how it has allowed people, women in prison, to earn a living, so they become important again. You see how this society works. Now when you're in prison, the women are not important because you don't have an income. You're actually a burden. Now you have to take care of your children. So when they're stitching these things and they're sold, they're able to pay school fees and stuff from within the prison. They now get importance back into the family. Oh my goodness. So that's something else. So I was very observant. I observed the food. I observed the people who come to the prison. Unfortunately, in this nation, there are a lot of Asians. The Asian, because when we were there, the Asian community came and brought something for everybody. Everybody went around and picked something. I remembered, I think it was around Christmas the time I'd gone. And that's why I went. I said, who can I visit? Or who has been forgotten on Christmas Day? And that was, there were 12 condemned women that I went to visit. And encourage and pray for. So those are the things that I learned and observed from my environment. I think I observed and felt a need to thank former Vice President Mudiawari because he did a really good job in rehabilitating. I understand Langata is like Kepinski.
Yes, we actually call it Kepinski. Yes.
So because the other prisons are not doing very well. I went to Embu. I'm hoping to go to Narok and Naivasha and Nakuru. I just want to be able to visit every prison and just offer hope because they're doing well, but they need our help. So that's a leadership lesson, you know. Some of us, maybe I'll end with this. A leadership lesson is, I've learned that people sometimes throw money. Every time you ask for something, you throw money at it. I'd encourage you to throw your time. Take time and go. Go and see. And see how we can be involved because they seem to be, prisoners seem to be the lowest dreg of this society. And I don't know why. And we should really be about rehabilitation, not about punishment and breaking people and destroying people. But I'm glad even with the forums that Teresa has, or formerly imprisoned, I'm so happy the stories I hear. I remember a man who had done, he told me he did up to his degree in theology, has like 7 churches, you know, so those are the good stories that people got an education, educated themselves, they're living their best life now. So those stories encourage me. But it's for us to look into the system. I think those who create policies, please create policies that integrate this person back into society without stigma, and give them hope and direction, and let them know they've already paid their lesson. They've paid their dues. Now what do we do for them after they've paid their dues?
And Pastor, those who are in prison are human beings. They are our mothers, our brothers, sisters,
fathers,
our children. They are not people, they are not beings who have come from outer space and being brought down to those prisons, to occupy those prisons. No, they are members of our families. They are members of our communities. They are people who have got children, who have got parents. They're just like you and me. It could easily be your daughter. It could easily be my son.
It's true. And they've made a mistake.
And they've made a mistake.
For which they were caught and punished. Because I remember one woman in Embu, that one made me feel sad. I think she was in prison for 4 rolls of bang. And immediately my system, I thought, how many other people have got even maybe more quantities of bang around them, but they're not serving a prison sentence?
They could have been there because they were falsely accused.
Others, the file has disappeared.
Others, the files have disappeared. You could be driving down the road and knock someone, and accidentally they lose their life. You go in for life. And not that you were a robber or you did something, you've had a bad past. No, you just caused an accident
And somebody
and
died.
their life was lost.
So when that happens, you're supposed to go in for that life.
If it is found that it was careless driving,
Wow.
or there was intent, then you go in for life.
Wow.
Yeah. The people who are involved in fights.
That one scared me. That's a leadership lesson. Don't get into fights. Because something just goes wrong in the fight. Somebody
Yes.
falls,
Yes.
dies, and that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one lady from Klista who tells me she sees the fight, she runs in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Even me now, I'm very wary. Just move. Because anything can happen in that fight, and something goes wrong and somebody dies.
Yeah. People land in prison for all sorts of reasons.
I think anger is another one.
All sorts.
As a leadership lesson, anger is something that has to be
Yes.
managed.
Yes.
Because if you don't learn it, they say if you're not taught by your parents, you'll be taught by the world.
By the world.
So anger might be contained in your family, and you're trying to contain an anger situation, which has the potential to turn into a prison sentence.
Yes. And making the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Try always, and I love Teresa for saying this, always try to make the right choice. Because choices have consequences. Yes. So even as leaders, we should always try and make the right choice.
And I feel like saying this as well, listening to your inner man, because sometimes when you make the wrong choice, it's that you're making it, but maybe you're just compromising because of my peers and what will people say, and say, gee, what? And let me just go with the flow. Why do I have to be the one who says something opposite all the time? Why everybody's going to the party? Me, I just feel like somebody's telling me to stay home, but I just have to go. Why am I always the spoiler? All those kind of things. So you're having this debate within yourself, and it's because your spirit is trying to warn you about something. Yeah. So I think we should take that advice and follow your heart and your instinct, and stop trying to bring logic into it.
Yes.
Even when you're hanging out with somebody, this person is not good for me.
Yes.
And I know that this person is not good for me, but I'm insisting on being here.
Yes. Follow your heart. Always follow your heart.
Good leadership lesson, parents are everything.
Yes.
Parents are everything. They're the people who will stick with you no matter what.
And my parents have stuck by me. I thank God they're still alive today.
To see your freedom.
To see my freedom. I thank God that finally, after so many years, I saw a smile on my mother's face. Oh. She couldn't get herself to come to prison to see me. Yeah. And the day she did, she cried because she couldn't bear seeing me in that uniform.
With a number.
And I told her, Mom, I'll get out. I will get out one day. And we'll rejoice. And I thank God. I thank God that they're still alive.
Yeah. I remember the last one is to enjoy life, because one of the ladies who I met formerly imprisoned in the gathering, she told me how she's happy, she's smiling, she's singing, even in the streets.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't look at people like they're mad.
Yes.
She had been sentenced to a very long sentence. I think 22 years. She is so happy about her freedom. And she's going about helping anybody that she can. Remember?
Yes.
Remember, because there was the lady, the mom, and who were released, and she went to them. Yes. She is so overjoyed about life.
Yes. Yes, she is. She is. She is. And she goes out and helps. She reaches out to any woman who is getting out of prison to help them. The one thing, Pastor, I should not forget to say is never take freedom for granted. Never.
Never.
Because when it's taken away from you, you realize how important it is.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Amen. Thank you so much, Becky, for coming to share your story.
Thank you,
I know it wasn't easy. Thank you for your authenticity. Thank you for sharing. I know it's going to help somebody who's behind this camera.
I hope
And
so.
it will help them not only now, but forever. It's in the archives, it's there. This is forever.
Amen.
This is legacy. So it will help people, and we really thank you for the impact that you've had and for sharing your story.
Amen.
And God bless you greatly.
Thank you for
And continue to
having
do great and mighty things through you.
me. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Amen. God bless you guys. I hope you've been encouraged, challenged. I have. And you have new lessons and a new lens through which to see life. And if you're out there, especially, well, I won't say the young, but try any situation that looks like it can land you in prison, don't do it. Drinking, driving, too much partying, too much fighting, anger. Look at what you're signing, which papers are people giving you, why, question things, don't just do things.
Yeah.
Keep out of prison. Keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
God bless you. Bye-bye.